not going to save. It's not going to do a before and after. It's just going to show you and compare to her age group and gender, okay? Now, if you do a full diagnosis, that means that if she decides to come back 6 months later, you can pull up the first analysis that she did. So, full is mainly what we recommend, especially if you're going to be doing the active care treatments. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do a full for her. When you select full, there's new customer and there's registered customer. So new customer will be if she's a brand new client. Registered customer is if she's coming in for the second time. So,
okay. So this is good for you to be listening to. She's going to do analysis today.
Yeah. And and I tend to talk really fast. So if I go too quick for you or you want me to go back and explain again, just let me know, okay?
Okay.
Now, who else is in the room with you, Jim? Oh, hey!
You know, sweet.
I recognize you.
Samantha Wu is actually calling in remotely because she's
Okay, cool. I just didn't want to leave anybody out of the loop. Okay, so I have Samantha and then who else?
We got Michelle Green, Samantha Wu, and Tamika and me.
Tamika and you. Okay, perfect. All right. So
missing one.
Okay, perfect. So once you register the customer, you're gonna go ahead and add the customer's name. I know it's a little small, and I'm trying to get the screen bigger for you, but you know, just a regular register screen where you put the name and all that, and the phone number and the email address. Okay. Now give me a second while I do this for her. Now, you notice here, if you take a look at the webcam, there's like a gray silhouette. When you select that picture with your finger, this camera here is going to turn on. Okay, so that's the picture that you're going to go ahead and say, thank you for coming to my salon. I'm going to take a profile picture of you. Okay, and then you're going to go ahead and take a picture of her, you see? Okay, and then you click save. That's mainly, for example, like if you might know a client, but another of the stylists might not know the client. And then you click save. And then it's saved there. Do you see it clearly?
Yes.
Okay, now here it says start diagnosis. You are gonna go ahead and select start diagnosis. This is the box that gives you the menu options for all of the analysis. Now let's say, for example, if later on, a year from now, you realize that maybe you don't need to do scalp status for the clients. It's an analysis that you don't need, or you know, it's something that's too time consuming for your location. You could always uncheck them on this box and you don't have to do them. Okay, but for today's presentation, I'm gonna do all of them just so you guys are familiar with it. Okay, and the first one is hair loss status, right? So this, you were going to go ahead and explain to the client, hey, Caitlin, today I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of the hair loss section that you're suffering from. And what you're going to do is, this is not a microscopic picture. This is a regular picture. You're going to turn on the camera, and then you're going to analyze your client briefly and see, okay, well, overall she has good hair density. So I'm going to focus right here on the section of the part, right? And I'm going to take a picture of her. And it's gonna look like this. Okay? Then I'm gonna go ahead now, hypothetically speaking, let's say, for example, if she was balding or losing hair in this section, I wanna take a picture of the top of the head, but make sure that this section is showing. So I probably want to go ahead and lower it a little bit. Okay? Because this is gonna be part of your before and after. So then you're gonna go ahead and select compare. So here on compare, the first couple samples are men. You have to scroll all the way to the right to find your woman, right? Now for women, there's not that many. There's about like 7. You're gonna select the hair loss pattern. She is not balding this way. This, as you can see, it's pretty severe. So that wouldn't be her case. She's pretty normal. So I would select that and click save. And then I'm gonna get my star ratings, right? And then I'm gonna say, okay, Caitlin, you got a 5 out of 5 so far. That means that you're not losing that much hair for a female with the same age group and gender, right? But that's just the beginning of the analysis, the overall view. So what really is gonna be shocking is once you start doing the microscopic pictures. Then you switch over to Scalp, okay? So Scalp here, it's a 202 lens. All of the lenses have a name on them, and all of the analysis tells you what lens to use. So you go ahead and turn on the camera like this. The LED light's going to turn on, and you're gonna go ahead and focus on that area that you know she's thinning in. Now I'm focusing on her part because you could clearly see, but if she was, for example, balding really bad here, this is where I would focus on, okay? Now the picture has to look something like this. It has to look clear. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So in other words, I'm not taking a picture of a whole bunch of hair. I'm focusing on the actual scalp. And then I would select scan. When you do these analysis, you always have to scan first and then compare. So here on scan, right, you're gonna see here that you have a 1, a 2, a 3, and a C. Do you guys see that?
Yes. Monica, can I ask a quick
Sure.
backing up?
Sure.
When you take a picture, where on the scalp do you place the camera? Is
Well,
it always in the same spot?
No. See, these analyses are going to be based on the areas that you physically see that they need help in. So she doesn't have a hair loss problem, clearly, because you can see that. She's probably going to have more of a scalp problem or more of a hair thickness problem. But that's not going to be a case for every single client that you get. So for example, if I was to have a client who has severe balding in this area, that's the area you're going to focus on the majority of the analysis.
Okay.
Did I explain it correctly?
Yeah. So in other words, if I've got like quintessential male pattern baldness
Right.
in the crown, always take it where the world would have been, even if there's no hair.
Exactly, because that's clearly the area that he's suffering in. That's probably going to be the area that you're going to see the pores that are like hair loss pores, where they're completely like dried out. That's the area that's probably going to have the most sensitivity. So yeah, definitely that's what you want to focus on. With women, it's a little different because women have so many other different things that it might not just be hair loss. It might be dandruff, it might be hair thickness, it could be a little bit of everything. So unless they specifically have a specific balding pattern, then you could go ahead and move around the head. Okay. Now here, I'm gonna go ahead and do the hair count. I don't know if you remember this, Jim, where you go ahead and select each of the hairs that are growing out with your finger of the pore. Okay. So you want to make sure that,
I was just going to tell Sam she's going to do one of these scalp analysis as soon as we're done.
Okay. Yes.
What you want to make sure you're doing is you can select 1, 2, or 3. Because certain are going to have 2 hairs coming out, some will have 1, some will have 3.
Right. Can you please check our viewer if it's down? So they can see. All right. Yeah, I'm talking to my IT guy because I was trying to get the screen bigger so your stylist, so Sam can actually see what I'm doing here. But okay, so for example here, right? So the 1, 2, and 3, that means the software is asking you how many hairs are physically growing out of her pore, 1, 2, or 3. So here, for example, she has 1, 1, 1, 1. And then here she has 3, so I selected 3, and then with my finger I place it on there. Okay? Now, your Hispanics and African Americans tend to have a lot of hairs coming out of the pore, so don't be surprised if you have a client who has 5 or 6 hairs coming out of one pore. What you're gonna have to do in that situation is count a number 3 and then a number 2 and put them in the same area. Okay? So here, for example, there's 2 numbers. There's a big number and there's a little number. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so what really matters on this analysis is the big number. So the big number means that she has around 130 hairs per square centimeter all over the head, which means that if I was to cut her scalp into square centimeters, her average hair density would be, 130 hairs. Now, the little number that you see next to it, which for her would be 26, That means that's how many hairs you manually counted in this picture. Okay? Yes. Because, see, some clients, and I've seen it in both situations, some clients want to know everything. They want to know what this number means, what this means. So just so you guys are prepared, the big number means average hair density per square centimeter. The little number means the average hair count that you did for the client on this section. Okay? Okay. Now, give me 1 second real quick so I can go ahead and do the proper count. All right. Okay. This is 3. This is 3. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead, and after that, I'm going to go ahead and click save. So then here, the results is based on this line graph down here, okay? So here it says normal. That means that her hair density is normal or a little bit below normal. Depending on where the line graph lands, it's either gonna tell you normal or few. And if it tells you few, really it just means that they are having issues with hair density, okay? Then I'm gonna go ahead and select compare. Click start. Okay, perfect. I think we're able to get it on the screen. Are you guys able to see it? Give me 1 second. I think my IT guy was able to get it on the screen.
Do you guys have problems mirroring working?
I'm sorry?
Do you have issues trying to get it to mirror properly?
No. No. The one thing that is a little bit difficult, because you mentioned it, was the emails. Yeah. Now, Jim, can you see the screen?
It's up at the top.
Okay, so you can see the top and the bottom, right?
Yeah, a
okay.
little larger than too small.
Okay, perfect. So here, right, I have no clue what Caitlin's suffering from, right? Like, she just came in and I just did an analysis. So I'm going to have to go in through each one of these. Go through them and find a picture that matches my client. Okay?
And this is, backing up, which customer we have on? This is for hair?
This is for hair density, but remember you have to scan first, then compare. So when you scan first is when you do the count, and when you compare is when you find the picture that matches. Okay?
Okay, are we looking at the scalp?
You're looking at the scalp, right? So if you take a look at the screen, you see that it says client's picture, and then on top I selected a dry number 2. That's because out of all the pictures, that was the main one that matched her up. You see it?
It makes sense to everybody?
Wait, go back. This is where I have an issue with, is trying to pick the picture that's closest to the client's picture.
Okay. So if it makes your consultation run a little bit faster, what you can do, because sometimes some of these could be time consuming, you can say, okay, Caitlin, do you think you're a dry or an itchy scalp, or do you think you're suffering from dandruff? What do you think you're suffering with your scalp? She might tell you she doesn't have a problem. If she tells you she doesn't have a problem, then you have to go through all these. But if she tells you, yeah, I'm a little itchy, or I'm super oily, I always have to wear dry shampoo, use dry shampoo, then you could already kind of know that you could skip straight to that section. Yeah. So, but originally, if she tells you I'm perfect, then you have to go through these pictures, and you have to, what you're comparing here, if you take a look at the screen, it's not the hair thickness, it's not the hair color, it's the background of the hair, so the actual scalp. Okay?
Okay. Gotcha.
And then click save. And really all it takes, to be honest with you, is just practicing a lot with the device so you can find out which one's going to fit the client best. And there's going to be times that you're not going to find an exact match, but you're going to find one that's close enough, and that's what you have to go for. Okay?
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Keratin of the scalp is an analysis that's mainly for residue and for leftover shampoo, conditioner, anything that's left over on the scalp, including dandruff. This analysis is going to pick it up, right? Now, I have two options. I can sit here and focus on the same area that she's been focusing on, right? Or I can say, hey, Caitlin, do you feel like maybe the back of, if she might tell me that the back of her head is itchy. If that's the case, then I'm focusing on the back of the head. Okay? But you as the professional, you have a lot of flexibility to choose where you want to do the analysis. Let me see. I'm trying to find a good picture for you guys. Okay. So I took a picture of her scalp and I click scan. And then, can you rotate it, please?
Yeah.
So she was in. And then I got the results that she's a 2 out of 5, which means that she has a little bit of residue, okay? She's what they considered intensive care. So maybe it's her shampoo, maybe she uses hair products, maybe it's dry shampoo. So if you have anything to focus on that, that's what you would recommend for her, okay? Now, yeah.
Yeah, whenever I've done this test, the only option it ever gives me is everybody has to. Like, there's never a person that does not have dandruff.
Oh, yes. So that's, yes. This analysis will always give you dandruff. When you select compare, it doesn't let you switch over to any analysis. Okay, and the main reason why it doesn't let you switch over to something else is because the device cannot detect if Caitlin has leftover shampoo or if it's hairspray or if she just has dandruff. So the most common term that they added was dandruff, but really it means residue. And that's for everybody. Everybody's going to show up under dandruff, but if you notice, there's a level 1, 2, 3, and 4. So really it's asking you what level of residue do they have in the scalp. So for her, it would be 1. And then, no, actually, I apologize. For her, it'd be a little bit. She's not as severe as a 4 or 5. I'd probably go for like a 2. And then that's, and by the way, most of your clients, I would probably say 80% of your clients on this test is going to get either a 1 or 2 or a 3 star. Okay? It's very common. Right. It's very common for them to get a 1 or a 2 or a 3 star, and it's always going to say dandruff for that specific reason. Okay, so far, so good?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Exposure of scalp vessel is a sensitivity analysis. So really all you're doing is taking a picture of the scalp. If you notice, all of these are pictures of the scalp. These are not pictures of the actual hair. Ryan?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so once you take a picture of the scalp, you're gonna go ahead and select scan, and it's gonna read the picture. And really, keratin of the scalp means how sensitive your client's scalp is. So if they have a lot of itchiness, if they went to the beach that day and they got sunburned, they're gonna come up as a 1 or a 2 star on this analysis. Okay, so it's sensitivity of the scalp. And once you select compare, you'll notice that the only option that you get is sensitivity. But then again, you're getting different levels of sensitivity. So for example, she's probably like a 1 or a 2 star. She's definitely not a 4 or 5, you see? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead.
And what typically is the root cause if people show up with we get people with 1 or 2 stars for exposure of scalp vessels.
Right.
What exactly does that mean? Is that they're damaged?
So for 1 or 2 stars for sensitivity, it's focused because it's either itchiness or sunburn or something like that. So the product that goes with that analysis is Comfort, if I'm not mistaken. So
yes.
For people who get a 1 or a 2 star, the device is going to go ahead and offer them Comfort. But let's say, I'm not sure, Samantha says, okay, I'm going to go ahead and recommend to her Comfort, but I also want to do a scalp massage, right? Then you could also add that to the device. So it's up to you. But yeah, that's really what it's going to do. Based on the 1 or the 2 stars is what it's going to recommend for the active care. So all of these tag back along to active care. Okay, so far so good on that one? Yep.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Now it's hair thickness. When I switch over to hair thickness, it tells me to switch lens. That's a 203 lens, so I grab it. This has a, I can't see, I'm sorry. This has a safety lens. So you press it first,
I'm looking at it.
and then you take it off, okay? Yeah, no.
No, they're looking at it.
And then
again.
But there's little button underneath the lens, right?
Right. It's a safety lens. So for example, if you're a clumsy person and you drop it, it's so the lens doesn't fly out and break. That's what it's for. So here you press it again to put it back on. You find the right lens. You notice here there's like a little peak. That matches with the top. Okay. Here, like this. And then you could go ahead and turn on the lens and focus on hair thickness. Now, hair thickness. If I do the analysis on Caitlin, my client up here, she's probably gonna have, I'm gonna go ahead and show you, a much better thickness than if I were to do it down here. Okay, because this is brand new hair. This is hair growing straight out of the pore. And this hair has been used and abused already. So if you focus on it, this is most likely gonna be thinner. So what you recommend to be fair with especially with the female clients, is you wanna go ahead and take the picture somewhere in the middle, around the ear area. So let me go ahead and grab a piece of hair. Okay? You saw I went and I just took a picture. Now when I take the picture, I put my finger under the hair like this, and then I place the lens. It's just gonna make your life a lot easier. Okay, and then you're gonna select scan. When you select scan, you could do the count the way it is now, but it's gonna be a lot more difficult for you and a lot more time consuming, so just go ahead and select manual. This white box is going to appear, and then you focus on the hair that you wanna count. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this one. Okay, and then with my finger, I'm gonna count it. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to show you here. Go like this, all the way to the top. You see? So far, so good on that?
Where you got that?
Yeah, I got 0.96. Did you see that?
Yeah. So that's a pretty thick hair.
Yes, correct. Pretty thick hair. So I would go ahead and select save. And then she got a 5 out of 5. And that's pretty much it on this analysis. Is that clear so far? Did you guys have any questions on that one?
No, we got it.
If somebody's got super fine hair,
right?
Would the hairline actually treat that, or?
For super fine thin hair?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Jen. We have the active line, which actually helps with that. And sorry, I'm trying to make sure that you guys can see me. We have the active line, which treats that, and we'll go over in a little bit more in detail once we get to the active care. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so then after that, then you could go ahead and switch over to hair pore. Same thing, same lens, and I'm focusing on the pore, so really I just want to see how healthy her pore is. So I'm going to go ahead and take a picture. Oops, there you go. Okay.
You got nice pores.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, she has pretty good pores. So as these analyses go by, right? So I did hair thickness for her, so you can honestly tell your client you already seen the results. So after hair thickness, you can say, as you've seen so far, your hair is pretty thick, so it's probably something more with the scalp, right? Now we're gonna do hair pore, and same thing. You're gonna go ahead and compare. She has a pretty decent pore. It doesn't look like she has sensitivity or dryness, or seborrhea, nor inflammation. No, she seems fine. She seems good. I would probably do like a good 2, and then click save. Okay, so as you can see, she also has a good pore. So it seems like the main problem that she's having is her scalp, and it's probably the products that she's using. All right. Did you have any questions on that so far?
Is she really having any problems at all, or are we just pretending?
No, she does have a little bit of dryness on the scalp.
Okay.
Yeah, she does. That's for sure. But everything else, most of the analysis that I've done have been accurate. So, and then the last one is cuticle status. So the cuticle status is the last lens. So that's the big lens. So you're gonna go ahead and take it off, press the button. Oops, I dropped it. Yeah. Here you go. And then you're gonna go ahead and put the new one in, right? Okay, now once the new one is in, you go ahead and here, if you take a look at your screen on the left-hand side, there's a section that says 1K HML. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. This analysis provides two different magnifications. It provides you a 500 magnification and a 1000. Honestly speaking, the 1000 is great, but for consultation purposes, you're better off with the 500 because it's so much easier and it gives you a much better image. So the way that, and I'm gonna show you the differences. Right now, when it's white, when the 1K HML is white, like how it is on there, that means 500.
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you. Okay, you see the 500? So, okay, now let me show you 1000. So the only thing that I did to switch it was to select the 1K HML and make it blue, and that's telling the software to make it into 1000. Okay. Here you go.
Wow.
That's a nice picture.
Okay? I've been doing it for a while.
If you take a picture where she had highlights, because it looks like your hair is lightened, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So, and that's another thing too. Sure.
I have a question.
Sure.
Okay, when I'm taking pictures of the hair, sometimes I get really like, they look like ghost hairs, like, you know, Casper the ghost.
Right.
Like they're really, what does that mean? Is it that their hair is processed or that the hair is like there's some damage? Like, there be different shades of it?
Well, let me show you something. Do you mean like ghosts like this? Let me show you. There's a picture here. Oh, I just passed it.
Wait.
Like that?
No.
Okay. So,
Like,
see-through almost?
yeah, like see-through
Okay.
almost.
Yeah, that means the cuticle has been completely removed from that hair. So, yeah, there's 9 times out of 10, you're gonna see that on elderly people who have white hair because it's completely white, there's nothing left on it. You're gonna see that in processed hair a lot, and you're gonna see that a lot too on damaged hair. For example, a split end will be that color.
Theoretically speaking, the more transparent or translucent it is, the worse of the condition it's in.
Right. So I'll give you a perfect example. I have jet black hair, right? I take an analysis today, you're gonna be able to see the cuticle perfectly. If I go today and I get it bleached to white, like completely white, and I retake that picture, my cuticle is gonna be completely see-through because I completely killed and drained all that cuticle out of it.
Show them a picture of
So
the
when
cuticle.
you're doing this part of the analysis, do you take the picture at the scalp and the mid shaft, or what
No.
do you do this?
No, so the cuticle status, you want to mainly focus on somewhere around this area, on the ear down. I never recommend the salons to do it at the top because that's overall fresh hair. It hasn't really been there that long. But anything here on the ear area, it's already been dried and, you know, it's been processed, or it might have been, you know, flat iron. It has more of its normal use that the client has. So that's really what you want to focus on, anything on the middle here. And when you take the picture, and I'm going to do it again for you, if you take a look at the webcam, I'm focusing on a little strand of her hair, and then with my finger at the bottom, and then again like this. You see?
Okay, how are you getting it to focus like that? Are you
Because
pressing
she
down?
said 500 is good 1,000.
Exactly. 500 instead of 1,000 is going to make your life so much easier. Now, if you do 1,000, if you decide to do the 1,000, it's going to be so much harder for you to focus. And then on top of that, you have to change the lighting. Because the device, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean right now. Like, I made it blue, I turned it into 1,000, and I want you to take a look at the webcam. When I turn it on, you see it says BLK.
Yeah.
Okay, if I select it, it's going to say WHT. And then if I select it again, it's going to say NOR. You see that?
Oh.
What that means is that the camera's asking you what color of hair is your client's because it needs to adjust the lighting to be able to take a picture of the cuticle due to the magnification. Yeah, it gets a little smart after a while. So for example, her, that she's like, that she bleached her hair, I would do a WHT, which is white, and then it'll change the lighting so I can get a better picture for her.
What's
Okay.
the last setting that you said it was?
You're gonna have different settings. You're gonna have black, normal, and white. That's what it stands for.
Okay, what classify was normal?
So for example, there's gonna be times. There's gonna be times that when you take a client's picture, they might be a bleach blonde, but they might be a yellow blonde, and the camera just can't adjust the lighting correctly. So you could play with those lightings to get the right level. That's what it's for. It's just to get the level of lighting that you can take a decent picture. Okay, I'm gonna take another one. My camera's about to die real quick, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you real
Do you
quick.
guys have the worst problem with the batteries on these things?
Yeah, the battery doesn't last more than one consultation, maybe two.
Oh, somebody needs a haircut.
Yep. So I showed her cuticle, and I showed her the fact that she needs to get a haircut, right? So I select compare. So you see how, money signs. Careful, because you're on the camera. Okay, so then I focus automatically when people have split ends. You're going to focus into triclasia, which is just a severe split. And then click save. And she got a 1 out of 5. And then I have her results, right? So now I'm talking to my client. I say, Caitlin, thank you so much for coming to my salon. So you came into my location. You were pretty normal. Your hair density, according to my summary, is pretty normal. Your hair thickness is great. But the only thing I realized that you need help in is your cuticle and your scalp, because she was a dry 2, if you guys remember. So when I come to results, right? It's saying that her main focus was a cuticle status, which I'm going to go ahead and recommend to her the product that goes with that. Here I have Nutrifuse, which is a product from Active Care as well, in the same family. And then I have Keratin of the Scalp, which is to help her with the actual scalp problems. Okay? And later, let's say if you want to keep going with the recommendations, your third option will be the scalp status. So I would select that, and then I would recommend that product for her specifically. Okay? And then it gets to the email section of the analysis. That email section, Jim, originally speaking, my camera's already set up that way, but I have to walk you through to make sure that it is set up correctly, but let's pretend it is. You would go ahead and select email. Her email will show up. You will click OK. It's going to say add to send list. If you notice that at the bottom. I'm going to do it again so you can see it. Once you select OK, it's going to say add to send list. You see that? And then you're going to click the little house, and it's going to say, do you want to finish diagnosis? And you click OK. Okay. So,
just to reiterate what Monica just said, that little house,
right.
If you don't press that, it will not save your work.
Correct. So you want to make sure it's saved. Now you remember the section that said add to send list when I select send email. That's the device is telling me, hey, I'm gonna send it, but right now the camera cannot send the emails, and the reason why it cannot send is because I am connected to my Wi-Fi connection to the software that I'm showing you on it. Okay, so that connection is already being used, so it doesn't have a second connection to send the emails. So what would happen is you would have to exit out of the software. So if you follow the screen, I would go into settings and I will remove the mirroring. Okay, because I need that connection in order to send those emails. Then I would go back, and I'm doing it here because I can't do it over there anymore because I disconnected. And then I would make sure, if you take a look at the screen, to go back to the main page that's here with the time and the date, and to connect via Wi-Fi. So I would go into the settings, and I would connect to my normal internet, to my actual internet connection. So, and then once that's connected and you see that there's a Wi-Fi connection, And then you could go ahead and resend the email. Okay.
So spreadsheet, I just be saying send.
Yes. So what's happening is you guys keep saying send to email, and they keep piling up on this email list. You see? And they keep piling up and piling up and piling up, and they can't send because you guys are not turning on the Wi-Fi connection, the actual internet connection, or you're not disconnecting from the RM viewer. So
that makes sense.
Yes, because it only has one connection, so you have to choose. Do I want to show the client? Is that my priority, or do I want to email the client? So if your priority is emailing the client, then it's going to be very hard for you to mirror first. So yeah, so you would have to, originally speaking, show the client the mirroring, send them the email, disconnect from the mirroring, connect to the Wi-Fi connection, and then resend.
Monica, I have a question.
Sure.
We've never been able to successfully email anybody. Now we know why. If they get an email from this machine, where would the email be from?
Okay.
We need to set it.
Right. So we would need to set up your email. It would be set up from whatever email address you wanted to send from. So if you have jimshepardsalon@yahoo.com, that's what it would be used to send the clients. Now keep in mind that this device is very limited to the emails. So I believe at this time it's only accepting Yahoo or Google, if I'm not mistaken. So you need to have a Yahoo or a Google account. I can get back to it. Yeah, so you will set up your email, like jimshepard@yahoo.com. And then when we're done with her analysis, I disconnect from the RM viewer. I connect to the internet. The email is going to go to Caitlin, and it's going to say from jimshepard@yahoo.com.
Okay. Did you put in our HRC roll-up?
Will it send automatically or do you
Yeah.
have to?
It depends.
Okay.
Oh, that's hugely helpful because that's what a lot of people are coming back to us and saying, why don't I have my email? We can't figure out how to.
Yeah, emails with this device are a little bit more complicated for sure. You can do it, but you have to know the steps. That's
Yeah, we know.
yeah, you have to know the steps. Once you know the steps and you're like, oh, I know why it's not sending, and then you could go ahead and do the steps again. Because since it's based on Android, originally speaking, they should have had 2 different connectivities, one for sending emails and one to show the clients, but it only has one, so you have to like balance the 2.
Okay, that's no problem.
Yep. So as you remember, we recommended to her the D for active care, and then the NutriFuse product for her cuticle. Okay, so then my consultation is done with her. She already knows what she needs. So then it will be the Rosemary's part, which would be the active care, to actually explain to the client how it works and how many times I need to use it.
Thank you, Monica.
Okay. So far, so good. Any more questions?
No, that was very helpful.
Okay, good. No problem, guys. It was my pleasure. If you guys run into any questions or concerns, feel free to call me. Jim, you know you can call me anytime, so just let me know, okay?
Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Take care, guys.
And also